Speaking of new things, um, what's going
When we
on with
talk about
COVID?
this, I would like JB, as someone who just survived COVID and had a really seriously difficult time with it, to give your thoughts on what Murray's about to describe.
Okay, so for those that don't know, I got the COVID. My experience as a defense attorney. So I was going into the CJC. I was going into the jail. I made it through March, April, May, and most of June. Around June, I was perfectly fine, mid-June, and then suddenly on a Saturday, I started to kind of feel like I'm a little sick. By Sunday, I had body aches and chills, and I said I need to go to get tested. The test would take 3 to 4 days to come back, but by the next Monday, and I'm coughing as I'm talking about it.
Psychosomatic.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It like brings up things, and by that Monday, I had a 102, 103 fever. And for the remainder of the week, my health continued to decline. I was coughing up blood. I had blood coming out of my nose. I lost during the course of about 10 days, 20 pounds. My stomach, without going into too much detail, my stomach was a wreck. I was vomiting. I had blood coming out of my vomit. I had incredible chills. Undescribable aches. I've been hospitalized with mono and the flu and strep. In fact, I've had strep and the flu at the same time. This was nothing compared to either. My wife ended up getting it. 2 of my 4 kids ended up getting it.
Wow.
I described my household around day 8 like Lord of the Flies, where I had my 4 kids kind of running things, and literally one of my middle ones, Zach, I just remember him like in a diaper. I could have sworn the guy had like
War
like
paint.
he had like war paint on him in his diaper, and like holding a bag of goldfish in one hand and a Mountain Dew in the other, and like commanding the rest of the family to do whatever they could or wanted to do.
You don't want to know what that paint was made of.
Oh no, I don't.
Right.
And it continued. It never ever stopped. And so I finished probably about day 11 or 12, and then it took about a week to. So it leaves you like a plague. Like you wake up, or like a ghost. You wake up one morning and you're like, oh my God, I don't have a fever. What's going on? And it leaves you. And then you spend a week gaining weight back and feeling like you can survive again. That is my experience as a defense attorney here in town with COVID. And I would not wish this upon anybody.